Hi guys, welcome to Get to France episode 3, and today I'm here with Paula Johnston, who is author of The Lies She Told. I'm going to pass over to Paula to introduce herself. Thanks Paula for joining me today. Would you like to say hello?
Hi, thanks for having me.
No bother.
Do you know what's funny? I've been talking non-stop, and now that you've asked me to speak, I don't know what to say.
It's alright, we can just swing it anyway. So Paula, tell us about you. What age are you?
I am 30. Just brought out my debut novel last year, and that's really what I've been doing for the past year, kind of thing, just getting that out there because it's flew a lot bigger than I ever expected.
Brilliant, good. So your book is called The Lies She Told.
Yes.
And it is available on...
Right now it's available on Amazon in ebook and paperback, but it will be coming out on Apple Books, Kobo, I think Google Play, the Barnes & Noble website, Audible. The audiobook is coming in September, so that's going to be worldwide. And I'm also, fingers crossed, in application for Waterstones.
Yes. Excellent. Even better, you get a discount with a blue light card on Waterstones.
Oh, do you?
So, tell us a wee bit about... Well, we'll talk about your book. You can tell us a wee bit about your book. We'll not give away any spoilers.
You've read it, haven't you?
I have read the book, which I highly recommend to anybody who's into psychological thrillers or anything like that. It's absolutely amazing. So we'll talk a wee bit about the book, and then we can talk about how the book came about, how successful you've been, what you've been up to. We'll talk about you and your future plans.
Okay.
Is that a good idea?
Let's go for it.
Let's go for it. So, let's talk about where your idea came from for the book.
Okay, so this actually wasn't meant to come out, but it did come out, right?
Right.
So, because I wasn't used to like public speaking or anything like that at the time, so I didn't really know how to hold in or hold my water.
Ah, right.
Basically, some of the events, not all of the events, I really need to stress that at every single time I say that, are based on true events. So,
Right, so you're going to have me now questioning what events in that book are true. Hope it's not the ending.
it's definitely not the ending. I don't think I'd be sitting here.
Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, it's a bit batshit crazy.
Aye.
It's full of bunny boilers, obsession, betrayal, just
Real life shit.
real life. It's sort of like, do you know that way, if you were to do something really, really mental, like the worst thing you could possibly do, and you thought, I'm going to do it.
Aye.
That's what it
That's
is.
it. Absolutely. And so I was going to ask what the inspiration is for the story. So it is kind of a bit personal, exaggerated personal then, would we say?
Definitely exaggerated.
I hope so.
Please, it's definitely exaggerated. I don't want cartoon away when I
No.
walk out here.
No. So, do you see yourself in one of the characters in the book?
Yes.
Yes.
I did use certain aspects of my life to create the character. Maybe not as the book developed, but
Aye.
at the start to kind of build the basis.
Like the personality and things like
Yeah,
that?
like I used to work in retail. I did a career in retail management.
Right.
I actually started off in a department store as well, just like
Ah,
Carly in
right.
the book. So I did take
Wee bits of your life to make up the kind of
Yeah.
characters. Ah, that's good. That is really, really good. So that is your inspiration?
That was the inspiration. Really was that I thought this was a really wild story. Like, this is something you would tell your pals. This has been happening to me for years, right? And they go, no way. And you go, no, I'm being serious. And they're like, you're a muppet. And I'm like, I know. But I thought, let's just write about it, but turn it into something bigger.
Aye.
Like the whole, what would have happened if I had been really
Aye.
off my rocker and had went, okay,
I bet sometimes you were thinking, I'm going to do that.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Did you go to Tenerife? But
I didn't.
I don't know how much that I believe. We can talk about that after, Mike.
You'll know, I definitely did not go to Tenerife.
How long did it take you to write the book?
About a year and a half. I wrote the majority of it while I was doing an office job. Then I took not well.
Right.
And I still had the last bit of it to do, and by this time I took not well as the world went into lockdown, and I needed something to kind of keep me going through the days, and I thought, right, this is the perfect time.
Aye.
Like, I'm never going to get this chance to just dedicate time solely to something like this again. So
that's a really good point. So the pandemic's actually served you quite well.
See, when people are like, how's the pandemic affected you? I'm like, it's brilliant.
Brilliant. Because in reality, you'd probably be working or no having the time. So
because it did take a lot of time. It wasn't just I found that even after writing the book, see the whole marketing it and publicising it and everything, that took up a lot of time as well. And I would never have done that if I was still working like 8 to 5, coming home.
You probably couldn't even have managed. Which actually that can bring us on. You did self-publish a book.
I did.
So you're in control of all your marketing, all your, I'm assuming all your sales, everything like that.
I had to teach myself how to do all that because it was a totally new world.
Just brand new.
I had no idea how to self-publish a book. People think that maybe I just wrote a book one day and fired it up and it done great. I had to really study how to do it and the steps and all of it. Like, it did take quite a while.
Definitely, it would be it's a totally new experience as well. Like
marketing as well. Like, I hadn't really done much. Like, I know I'm quite creative, but I hadn't really done much, and I thought let's just give it a bash myself. And then when I did, it worked. So I was like, I don't really need to
that,
go
and that's
elsewhere.
amazing, because I suppose, like, if you don't know where to start, you just need to trial and error, and you've done that on your own. Whereas there's other big companies there that could have done it on your behalf. But
absolutely, if I would signed with a big publisher, I would have had like a book illustrator, designer, a agent, a marketer, someone that contacts all these people. I just
went for it,
barefaced it, and got it out there to as many people as
possible. It's worked, but
it
absolutely has. That is really quite amazing, actually. What was I going to say? So, see, you're now saying it's going on to digital platforms and stuff. Is that just, again, you've done that yourself?
So what happens, people don't really know this, when you sign up to put your book on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, you are basically signing an agreement with Amazon, which means you can't sell it elsewhere. So it wasn't able to go on like Apple Books or anything like that. And at this time it was doing really, really, really well on Amazon, so I had no reason to put it anywhere else. Now that it's coming up for a year, I kind of thought, there's so many people that are still could read this, and I feel like I gave a year to Amazon. Now let's try it somewhere else. That
is really good. And so you said you designed your cover and all that.
Yeah.
So was that? I take it went live digital to begin with.
Yeah.
And then you worked on getting it out as a paperback.
The paperback came out a week after.
Oh, just a week after.
Yeah. But the ebook sold a lot better. In terms of people buying more of it, but people still love a paperback. Yeah. The only difference is paperback, it's not about money for me, right? But paperback doesn't make you as much money as people think it does. It's pennies.
Is it?
Aye. So if there's any money to be made, it's off the ebook.
I'm so surprised at that.
Yeah, I was really surprised at that.
You think because the ebook's cheaper to buy than it is the paperback, but there's more profit.
They include all your printing costs, your postage, everything. So you don't actually make that much out of it.
Do you? So I take it you don't have a stock of books then?
I've got a stock of books in my house. In case people want signed copies or whatever, I just order bulk.
Right. And then do you do that all through Amazon?
Yeah. I kind of taught myself how to use Amazon properly.
I know. People probably aren't even aware of all that stuff. So your cover, did you design that?
Yes. I designed about 4 before that. And it just wasn't sitting right, just wasn't working. I just had this vibe of what I wanted it to be.
You knew what you wanted.
And as soon as I done this, I went, that's it. I'm not changing it again. And
it's definitely, it's a good graphic, catchy.
Yeah, to be honest, it's had a lot of kind of recognition, the front cover, and I love that. And it's even more a bit special because I did it myself as well.
Definitely. You'll be so proud that you've done that yourself.
I do love the cover. It's actually put a lot of pressure on me though to make another one.
Like, how am I going to do that? Is good. That is actually a good point.
Yeah.
So your book has been out a year.
Yeah, a year on the 10th of August there. Yeah.
So just there.
Yeah.
So has it been a total whirlwind?
Completely. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Sometimes I don't even feel like it's real. It's not actually sunk in properly yet. Like, I'm
an author.
I have people saying to me, you do know how big a deal this is, right? And I'm like, yeah, cool, what's for dinner? I don't don't understand. But
Aye.
I'm really bad for doing that for myself. Anything I do, I knock myself down. Like,
but if it was somebody else, you'd be bigging it up.
Like, whoa, this is amazing.
Aye.
But for me, I'm like, yeah, it's sound.
Aye, no bother. It's just a wee book.
It's just a wee book.
Aye, you need to bother. It's just a wee book. Do you know your figures? How many books you've sold?
Almost 2,000
That's amazing.
in a year, self-published.
By yourself.
Yep.
And
yeah.
it's going to reach all these new platforms in another couple of weeks.
Yeah, so that's even, it's, I didn't even think like 20 people would read this book, never mind 2,000.
And is it reached other places, or is it like UK?
Yes, it actually got, this was bizarre, I got an email one day from Amazon saying, your book has been noticed by Amazon, would like to put it into the promotions for like worldwide or something.
Aye.
It's whatever it got voted in whatever country, would you like to enter? And then it said, if you enter though, there's no guarantee you'll be picked. And I was like, that's fine, just enter it, because who's going to pick me, right? Because it's not like, I'm not published by HarperCollins or whatever, blah, blah. And then I got an email and it was like, you're not just going to be, like, you've not just won in one country, you won in the US and Canada.
Wow.
So I went on promo for those two countries as well.
That's amazing.
And I didn't even need to do any of that. Amazon organised all that.
You're just sitting in your house?
Off the success of the book, yeah.
Fantastic, that's good. So you've got a fan base all over the world.
Yeah, well, I know. It doesn't feel real.
Me?
I know. One of my best friends, she bought my book and she lives in Australia and it wasn't available to buy there yet. And I seen it come up on my reports, like that one from Australia, and I was like, that's my girl.
You got me. Good. And what about, did people know you're writing a book?
Yeah.
Aye.
Do you know that way? I've always said to people, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book. And they're like, yeah. Because I do a million and one things. Like, I jump from jump to jump to jump. Always need to keep busy. But it's always been something that has just been a bit more up there, like more realistic I could probably eventually do. And then I
just
did
went with it?
Yeah. And then my mum and all that knew, but they don't think they really thought it was going to be
like
I didn't think it was going to be like this, to be fair. So now it is just a bit
like this is real.
like they were surprised that it was out there and it's happening, but they weren't shocked because they kind of always
like,
thought it was going to.
Like.
Yeah,
And is your mum in that read your book?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you know, that was actually quite daunting as well.
Aye.
Like,
because your mum's your biggest critic, isn't she?
oh, definitely.
If she's reading your book, so it's going to go two ways. She's going to be super proud, or she's going to absolutely kill you.
I know. I remember sending her a bit of another book to read. Like, I'd just read this and see what you think. She was like, I think you swear too much, Paula. And I was like, yeah, maybe, but I'm just really passionate.
That is funny. You say another book, is that another book in the pipeline? Or
Yes, I am writing another one.
Brilliant.
Hopefully it'll be out next year. I don't know when next year yet, but I've given myself like a deadline.
Good.
I planned to write a lot earlier, and I had started another book, but I didn't expect this book to kick off the way it did. And when it did, I really just thought I need to just focus on this, because I might never get this time again. So I scrapped that whole thing. I just wasn't happy with it and started
brand new.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And is this a new standalone book, or
Yes.
it's standalone? It's not part of a series.
It's a new standalone, but there will be a sequel to this.
This new one?
The
current
book.
book? Oh, amazing, good.
Just not yet, because I feel like everybody was really wanting it.
Aye.
And I was like, oh crap, I'm under a lot of pressure now, and I need to just get another bit of writing out there first.
Get that out there, and then you can surprise everybody.
Yeah.
Good. Aye, that's I look forward to that, actually. that will be good. What else do you get up to other than writing? What else do you do? Have you got another full-time job that you do, or is this?
I do design work and stuff like that freelance as well. So I work alongside a media company, Tartan Social.
Right.
Their social media management, designs, graphics, all of that. I do quite a lot of design work for them, blog writing and stuff.
Ah, right.
It's just, and obviously I've managed to now host my own podcast as well with my friend Kirsten. So this book opened up so many doors that I never ever thought. And
maybe it's good we'll talk about what your podcast's called, and we'll get people to link in with that.
It's wild. I kind of try. Sometimes I try and keep them separate, because I'm like, my mum and dad can't listen to this one, but they can listen to the ones that I'm being interviewed on.
Right, so if anybody wants to know about Paula's podcast, just DM me and I'll point you in the right direction. That sounds right. So maybe better give me the heads up your mum's name then, so that in case she DMs me, I'll be like, I don't know what Paul's.
Yeah, Julie, not for you.
Julie.
Not
Andy
for
called
you.
Julie cannot listen. Just band name. That's...
Do you know what it is? It's just a very down to earth podcast between two lassies that are just very normal. They talk about just the stuff you would talk about with your pals.
Aye.
And I always wanted to do something like that when you're lying in the bath and you've got a face mask on and you're lying listening to this and you're just howling at what they're saying. But no airs or graces, because I am very much an oversharer.
Aye.
And I get in trouble for doing that a lot on the podcast. But do you know what? It makes it
real life,
doesn't it?
Absolutely, it's real life. People can relate to that, that's the thing.
I can't be anybody else than what I am.
You can't be anybody else. Even this author, Paula Johnston.
Oh no, that doesn't feel right.
Does that feel like somebody else?
I actually wrote that in a speech the other day, right? Because it was I had a party on Saturday night to celebrate the book, and my speech was, "Thanks, guys." Which is strange, right? Because I am a total gobshite.
Aye, you're a talker.
Right? So you would never expect that, but I get really bad social anxiety. People don't know that, so the minute you fling me up in front of people, I'm like...
Even though it's everybody you knew.
Aye, it doesn't matter. I'm mental.
Couldn't do it.
Absolutely mental, which is why I write mental books.
Aye. Oh, well, aye, I think we're all a bit mental.
Aye. I just talk about it a bit more.
Aye. Well, you did say you overshared.
Yeah.
So you do. You just overshared even on paper.
Yeah.
What about your launch party? Well, saying launch party, it was a 1 year party.
Aye.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, we threw a wee 1 year party for my book. We never got to do it during COVID. So I never got to launch my book, and make it a thing. And, do you know, all the way through, it's not always felt very real to me. And I wonder if it's just because it's something in myself. I don't really take it on. But everybody was like, your audiobook's coming out next month. You should have a party for this. Celebrate your success. And I'm like, why? And they're like, you've just published a book. It sold 2,000 copies. It hit the top 50 on Amazon. Why are you not celebrating? And I'm like, it's a good point, mate.
But it's me.
Yeah. So the whole week up to it, I was like a nervous wreck. And it's all people I know.
Because it was your party.
Aye. It's very
Somebody
strange.
else he should be buzzing.
People would look at me now and be like, she is chatting a lot of shite. She must love the limelight and the attention on her. I swear to God, I hate it.
Aye.
I really do. I'm not that type of person that I probably make out. It's like an act.
Aye.
Yeah.
I suppose it is, isn't it?
It's how you cope, isn't it? To be this type of person, to be able to speak about it, I had to learn how to do that.
And you actually, in front of your pals and your family.
Aye.
You couldn't?
Well, no. Thanks, guys.
How was your party? Was it good?
It was good.
Matter of fact, it was good because I'm pretty sure I seen a post that it was.
It went
still...
on a very long time.
Yes, it was still ongoing.
So it started at 4:30 on the Saturday, and the last person left at 1 o'clock Monday morning.
Sounds like a good party.
Oh my God, the cleaning. The cleaning.
Was the after party at your house?
Yeah, and I don't drink anymore, really. Right? So the first thing
you were sober that full time?
the full time. So I had one drink that night. I kept carrying about with me so that people wouldn't think I wasn't drinking. Because you get that, don't you? Do you want a drink? Do you want a drink? And I'm like, it's too difficult to explain to them that I can't handle drinking anymore. So no, I was sober the full time. So we went back to mine, whipped off all the fancy clothes and all of that, shoved on a big Playboy hoodie and stoated that down the stairs. Was like, right, come on then, let's get the Kanye West on. Giving it gold digger on my stories, and everyone thinks I'm steaming.
And
I'm
you're
like,
absolutely stone cold.
No, I'm sorry, that's me sober. Yeah.
That's probably why I don't drink.
Yeah, I don't need to.
Aye, I'm a bit like that actually. You don't need to drink to
have
fun. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
And the reason can you not drink because of your illness?
Yeah, I've never been a great drinker anyway to start with, but I like to pretend that I could. Right, I loved the tequila. Right, I loved the tequila. That was my thing. It was the only shot I could do, and now we've got a hate relationship. It just doesn't work at all. But yeah, I got diagnosed with gastroparesis in 2019. So that's basically where your stomach is paralysed.
Right.
So if I could explain it in the best way possible, if you go buy a Big Mac, right, and then you leave it out on the table for a week and it goes mouldy, that happens in my belly. So that Big Mac will stay there.
Doesn't digest.
Like it does on the table for a week, but it goes mouldy in my intestines. Gross, right? That's what makes me sick, bloat, I'm malnourished,
just pure ill.
Low energy, drained all the time, need to sleep a lot. It's hard work.
Did you have to change your diet then?
I've had to change my whole lifestyle. I can safely say I'll never ever be able to do a 9-to-5 job again.
Just because each day will be different.
I can predict
how you're going to...
One day I could wake up and I can be fine in the morning, and then, like, for example, now I can then go home and I'll have like a massive flare-up. And it knocks me for 6. It was very hard to kind of come to terms, especially because it went on for about 1.5 years with no diagnosis. I was tested for absolutely everything. It was horrible. At one point, I was in and out of hospital so many times over the Christmas and New Year period, and they didn't know what it was. Bags of fluid, Jags, everything, and I dropped about 4 stone.
Wow.
I wasn't like big or anything, but because what I was eating and I didn't know this thing was happening to my body, it was storing everything, so it was making me swell.
Right.
It was making my legs swell, my hands swell, my face swell, and I just thought I'd put on like
weight.
a lot of weight, but it wasn't. It was just
the
food wasn't digesting, so it's like building up toxins in your body.
And had you been unwell for a while before?
So I started getting bad tummy problems. Everybody's been diagnosed with like bad tummy problems now, right? About 22, just out the blue. And do you know that way you're meant to adjust your diet and all that? And I never.
You just
really,
think it's bog standard.
I'm like, I'm in my 20s. I'm going to go out and drink and eat pizzas and kebabs. And
Do what
it's
I
fine.
want.
And then I remember me and my partner, we went to Berlin, and I was just ill the full time, and it was not enjoyable at all. We couldn't do anything really or go out for meals, and I didn't know what was up with me. And I came home and I was still going to work, but during work every day I was still thrown up every single day. And then it was the Christmas works night out and I hammered the Davy, right? I think that just topped it.
Aye.
And then maybe like 2 weeks before Christmas, my whole body just kind of stopped working like completely, and I could not stop being sick. I couldn't move. I had to drag myself to the toilet and stuff like that. And a lot of people don't think that I go through anything like this because I post pictures dolled up, out living your best life and all that, but that's what social media is, isn't it? You don't know.
Yeah, it is. You don't, and you're probably posting them lying in your bed.
For example, I'll be lying in my bed looking an absolute state in my big minging dressing gown. I'm posting one, they're like, oh my god, she's living her best life, and I'm like,
amazing.
I'm really not, like deep down, but yeah.
You just put that out there. And was it like a shock to you when you get this? Have you heard the other people wear it?
I had never heard of this before.
No, I've never heard. That's why I'm asking.
Ever. I was like, gastro what? Like, you have to go and like nuclear cornflakes.
Okay.
Right? It's like radioactive or something, and what you do is you stand in a machine, and for 4 hours they scan how long these cornflakes take to go through your tummy, and at the end of 4 hours you're meant to have like 20% under, right?
Aye.
I was still at 98%.
That was just showing them that it wasn't breaking down.
And I was ill when I ate the cornflakes as well, so I knew they weren't moving. I had never heard of this thing, I didn't even know it existed. I had to really learn about it, and there's loads of people that don't know, so they don't really know what to say or how it affects me or whatever.
And what, are you on medication for it?
So much.
Aye, you're on medication for it. And that'll have a big impact on you as well. Like,
it's tiring.
Mm-hmm. It will.
But also, I can't complain too much because, see, if it hadn't happened, maybe I wouldn't have had all this, because working a full-time job, like a normal full-time job, it wouldn't have given me this up. I wouldn't be sitting here with you now because I wouldn't be able to get it off.
You'd be at your work. Yeah. Aye, exactly.
So I need to look at the positives. Definitely. It's not great, but...
And it's just learning to adapt as well, isn't it? Like,
but no, I literally have no other option but to learn to adapt.
Know your limits, know what you can do.
So that's what I was like on Saturday. I was like, I'll have one drink, and then I had one shot of tequila, and that was the worst thing I've ever done. Ever done. When I knew I can't touch alcohol anymore. So yeah, that's me.
That's you living the clean life.
Yeah.
Still loving it, but
I'm trying.
Aye, you're still loving it. What about your book tours?
Oh, my book tours. I am blown away by this second one. Brilliant. Because I had one when the book first came out. Mm-hmm. Didn't know it was a thing. I knew people got to go on tour with their books, like round bookstores, but this was during COVID. And this tour operator was like, this would be a really good fit, blah, blah. And I was like, great. And it got so many good reviews, and I got so many good pictures from it and stuff. And then I just didn't really think anything of it, because I thought, well, it's been out a year. People have read it. But that's my naivety, because I just think people have read it here. I don't think about all the people in England or whatever, or Ireland and all that have not read it.
You're probably just thinking about your postcode.
I am. But on social media it's different. And then I had another tour operator reach out to me and were like, have you done a tour? And I says, I have. However, the audiobook is coming out. It's 1 year anniversary. I don't really know if it's going to get much success. Can we kind of like trial and error it a wee bit? And she was actually really nice, and she was like, I'll put a sign up sheet out and we'll see. It got 79 sign ups in the first day. I nearly died.
That is amazing.
Wow. And there was I'm going to be really boasty here, right?
Go
but
for
I
it.
just really love this
Go
fact
for it.
so much.
Get out there.
There is a published author who also was on this tour, and the total number of sign ups she got was 87.
And you got 79.
No, I got more than that. I got 84 eventually. So
That's
that was just the first day. I was like, oh, I'll take that.
Yes.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And so these book tours, are they, because of COVID, are they virtual?
Yeah. So these 84 people or whatever will be given a free copy of my book, Kindle version, and they read it. I'm also taking part in a read along, which is quite cool. So I've been added to a group chat with some members of the tour, where they get to speak about the book at the start, the beginning, and the end. So that's really cool to interact with them as well.
It is. Doing a bit of networking.
Yeah.
With these famous authors.
Somebody said in the post the other day, what if I fangirl too much? And I was like, don't fangirl over me. Like, who are you fangirling over?
Where is she?
I was like, trust me, I am more excited than you.
So when's this starting?
1st of September to the 30th, so it's a full... There was so many people, it had to go on for a month. Initially, it was only going to be like a week, and she was like, it's impossible to do that in a week. So I was like, right, okay, let's do it.
That's amazing.
It just kind of showed me, wow, there's so many people that still haven't read it, but see the enthusiasm for it. But people were like posting it all over Instagram, and I was like, whoa,
That's me.
That's my book.
They wonder you're just living this surreal life.
It's a bubble.
Aye. I mean, you expect that to just go like pop?
Aye.
Like, what's happening?
Getting on.
Where am I?
Getting on. Back to work.
Get your application done. No, that is, it's outstanding though. Like, it's amazing what you've done. And
sometimes I don't actually think I'm nice enough to myself when I think about the fact I self-published this. So everything I've done, I did it, right? I didn't have an agency or a publisher behind me, and there's nothing to say that's bad when you've got that, because obviously that's every author's dream.
Aye.
But I
You've
feel a
done
sense
this
of achievement that
yourself.
I got to that.
Aye.
This stage, like, people are even reading it. I was a nobody.
Buying it.
I'm a nobody. I'm
Aye.
literally a nobody.
Well, I've tapped mine out to somebody.
Well, there you go.
I'm actually sharing your book with people.
I love that.
Like, it's just, like, you actually said to me, I just can't wait to the day I turn around, somebody's actually reading my book sitting next to me, and I'm like, that's me.
See the day that happens. I'm like, how'd you like your book?
Aye.
What do you think of it?
And it will happen. It will.
Maybe not this one, but one.
I think you need to cut yourself some slack though.
I'm the worst for it, but I am the worst, and I'm learning that as well.
When you think about, like, you've actually, I'm assuming, physically wrote it or typed it. You've done everything. You've published it. That is amazing.
I know.
Do you know anybody else that's done that?
No.
And you're just like, it's just me.
It's just a wee book.
Just a wee
Just
book.
a wee book for a daft
It's
wee...
not just a wee book.
A daft wee bird.
Aye, just a wee bird writing a wee book. I'm so excited for you to see what's going to come.
I know, it's been in all the papers as well. Like, that was unreal as well. Like, I've got them framed on my wall because I'm a massive geek, right? But I'm like, if I'm in the paper, if you are in the Herald, you're framing that.
Definitely.
Aye.
Definitely. Is there stuff that happens that surprises you? Like, somebody will reach out to you about your book? Or?
All the time. All
You're
the
like,
time. Even just this. Like, Paula, do you want to come on this podcast? I'm like, you want to talk to me?
What about?
Why? Why?
And you were nervous?
Aye.
You were nervous about coming on?
I'm an idiot.
You can say that. You can say that. What? Tell us a wee bit about your party, actually. Any funny stories? I like a funny story.
Let me think.
Any laughs?
Apart from my great speech.
Your great speech.
My great speech
Thanks.
went down great. Thanks, guys. My wee brother, he's 19. My mum came in at the very start of the party, and she was like raging. And I was like, what is it? She was like, your brother is in the car eating a chippy. And I'm like, why is he eating a chippy? To sober himself up. So then he stoats in, it's like 4:45, arms in the air, my sister! Right? Oh, goes up, orders another pint, fleeing. Everybody's thinking it's brilliant, blah, blah, blah.
Aye, he's a good laugh.
He then somehow just flips, and he's like outside, and he's just not in any fit state to be at this party. So my mum had to take him home. But I was like, wow.
Aye, that's my bro.
Yeah. Go on your cell, lad.
It's good to be young like that.
I know. Mandy used to do that and it was acceptable.
Aye, living the dream. He's been part-tamed by his mom.
It was the way he walked into the party, like, just, alright.
And what does he, I bet he's dead proud of you.
He's quite silent. He's quite a silent type, yeah, so... Although he must be secretly. I know he loves his big sister secretly.
Surely he's telling everybody about my sister's an author.
He better be.
You read my sister's book?
I keep saying to my dad, you do know I am your famous daughter now.
Were they surprised? What did he say? Like, is your dad a man of many words, or is he a...
No, but my dad is like my biggest fan. He really is.
Is he out there telling everybody?
He's like my best pal. Like, he supports me with absolutely everything.
Good.
When I got my first photo shoot done for the Herald, I got my dad down to sit with us, and he was like holding the light up for the photographer and all that. It was brilliant.
He's your fan?
Yeah.
Good.
No, I told him, I put a picture of him on Instagram the other day and he was getting all the likes. He's like, oh, I'm going to need to get an Instagram now. I'm like, right, let's do it.
He should get Paula Johnston's dad.
I said that. I said that author's dad.
That'd be fun by a bit. That'd be quite funny. He's got good patter like you. He'll be funny.
He'd love... No, my patter's better. Yeah. I'm only saying that because I know he'll be listening.
The Apple Disney fall far. Good. So, what else can we talk about? What we got? Giza, next book. So we're next year.
Aye, right, that's my aim.
Totally different. Still
psychological thriller.
Yes.
Yeah. I've still got a lot of nut job left to write in me yet before I move on to like chick flick or something.
Aye, that's chick flick's good if you're into that. But
it's a wee bit different in it. You know what it is? I just love to write books that I could see as Netflix series.
That would be good.
Wow.
So watch this space.
So many people have suggested that. Like so many. It's been on a lot of reviews.
There is loads of books that go on to be Netflix.
Aye, you need an agent to approach Netflix. So if anybody's listening,
any agents?
Imagine that though.
You better not say that out loud, Nicole. I'll be like, oh, I could be her agent.
I know.
How do you put this together? How do we get this made into a series on Netflix? We could use the studio.
I made a wee trailer not that long ago. I put one together and I got to play about with like bits of what I thought it would kind of look like, which went down really well. Can
you imagine that, right? It was on Netflix and you've used yourself as one of the characters in the book and somebody's playing you on a, like, some actor is Paula Johnston.
Mental.
That would be mental, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think you'd get to pick, like, she's not playing me. She's a howler.
I'd love to pick. I'd be like, no.
Right. Howling, not tough.
How sassy are you? Show me your sassiest walk.
Show me the good looking one.
No, you can't be matching me up with them then.
No, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Aye, that would be amazing. But focus on the books.
Focus
never know what happens.
Focus on
you
the
never
books.
know.
No, you don't. Well, you don't, because this is just grew arms and legs as well, isn't it?
The arms and Gregs.
Arms
and Gregs.
You hungry?
Wee sausage roll. The arms and legs, it's growing
rapid.
I don't even understand. It's mental.
How much time of your day do you think about Paula Johnston, the author?
Like all the time.
All the time?
Purely just because it doesn't feel real. Like I'm like, if I keep maybe telling myself that or like holding it or chatting to people about it, then maybe I'll feel a wee bit different. But I just feel really normal.
It's just me.
It's just me.
Have you ever been like somebody, you're that author?
Aye, I got it when I went to the dentist.
Did you?
I got it when I went to the pub.
How did that feel?
I don't like it.
Do you not?
No, I get dead embarrassed.
Like, no, that's not me.
I've had it actually quite a few times, like, oh my god, did you write that book? Or, oh my god, you wrote that book? And I'm like, oh,
yes.
You'll
get used to that.
Although you might not believe it, this is me better
than what you were.
Aye, at the start, I was like,
I know, but I mean, 2,000 books, that's mental.
It's 2,000 books that aren't even in bookstores and have only been available on Amazon.
Aye,
no other platforms.
That's a very small proportion of people that's
there must be so much more people out there.
Oh, there will be. And
just need to get it to them, don't I?
And you're doing it all yourself. You're reaching. Because you're big on Instagram.
Yes.
What else do you...
I'm actually quite active on my Instagram because see when I started, right now I deleted my personal accounts. I don't really... It's really bad because I work for a social media company, right? I'm not a big fan of social media. And I deleted my personal one and I'm going to just start for the ground zero and start my way up. And just purely about the book, and then I noticed that people were kind of wanting to see who the person behind the book was, so I started incorporating a bit of my life into it, and the more I'd done that, the more I was more honest with my illness as well.
Aye.
And it grew authentically because of that.
I know, and people think social media is like where everybody goes to just belittle everybody, but I bet you're surprised at the amount of support you're getting.
I get so many nice messages all the time, like so many.
Like, I found that with the podcast, because like I've just decided I'm going to do a wee podcast.
Yeah.
And the people out there are so supportive. Like, oh, try doing this. You're doing great. Like, you don't.
I think that's another learning curve as well. Like when you do reach a level of success, sort of thing, you realise who's going to support you and who's not, and that is a big eye opener.
Aye, that is an eye opener, and it's not a bad thing, but because it's making open your eyes, and you can see who's there for you and who's not. And I bet you found that with your book as well.
Massively.
Like, big life learning.
Oh, massively. I honestly just feel that in the past year, through the book and through illness, my year has just like
changed,
flipped upside down.
Your full life.
Aye, completely.
Well, obviously your full life has changed physically with your illness. Yeah. But emotionally with everything else going on around about you.
Aye. It's quite a lot to deal with. Like, I don't talk about that bit enough. Like, I'm quite open as well about talking about mental health as well. I'm very passionate about that. I've also organised like a wee writers panel. It was meant to be happening during the summer, and then I realised everybody's just getting out of lockdown. They want to go to beer gardens. Wouldn't it be good if I could bring loads of Scottish authors together in the winter for an event, and the money will go towards it's Chrissy's house.
Aye.
I don't know if you've seen that. I was speaking with Kat at You're Alright. She's doing a fundraiser for that.
Brilliant.
And I thought, why start from scratch when I could help her
you could
put towards our target? So all donations or admissions to that event are going towards that.
That's amazing. That is really amazing, because like you said, you're good at bigging everybody else up, but you've actually don't recognise what you've went through, what you've achieved.
Aye.
It's mental, isn't it?
I think I'll always be like that.
Aye. It's your personality as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
do you know what it is as well? It's really weird, because see, when people are listening to me now, they're probably like, she's cocky as anything, she's pure loud and can chat for everything, and it's honestly the opposite.
Aye. It's a pure facade, isn't it? You're like,
you have to have that, but I've realised though, like, I can't be that introverted, only comes out my shell in front of my pals anymore. No. I have to learn to do it.
Aye, you've got to learn to be successful. You've got to play into people's hands.
Yeah.
Haven't you? You've got to, if they're wanting you to be like that, you just need to be like
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
It's alright, I'll get home and cuddle up my ball and lie in my bed for 3 weeks.
They don't need to see that.
They don't need to know that. They don't need to see that.
I'll post some good selfies in the meantime.
I'll put up that cracking picture for 4 months ago. Nobody will need to know. No, that's... And what... Do you still live with your mum? Or are you...
No, I live at home with my boyfriend. I've got 3 crazy cats. I'm a crazy cat lady.
You're a crazy cat lady?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, at least you live with your boyfriend and not just your cats.
Well, exactly.
That would be a bit more worrying.
Makes it a little bit better.
Aye, makes it slightly better.
I remember once I was in Newcastle, right, and I seen a hen party. And all these cats started coming in, like all these black cats, people dressed up as black cats.
I was like, real cats here, I'm like,
no actual cats. And I mean like 20 of them, right? And I was like, what is going on? And then next thing, the bride obviously comes in. She's got a pink dressing gown on, she's got her hair in rollers, she's got a scarf over her head, and she's got all these cats stuck to her dressing gown. And I was like, wow,
that's me.
You are me.
Crazy cat lady.
Noted.
That's actually quite funny. But I'm happy you've got a boyfriend there as well, not just the 3 cats.
Thanks.
How long have you been with your boyfriend?
4 years.
So he's been on this journey with you?
He has, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And was it a shock to him when you, or was he just like...
Do you know, he's very chill, he's very laid back. I know he's proud, but it's very hard to get like a pure big reaction. Like, I know he's proud, but he doesn't really go on about it. And I think that's maybe why I don't really go on about it either. So we're just at home, it's just normal, it's just...
There's nothing about there?
He's just more caring for me at home, really good living with the author type thing. He's more...
And is he a good support with you with your illness and stuff?
Aye, he really is. He is. He works a lot, and he then still comes home and looks after me, so... No,
that's amazing. So we'll big him up.
We'll big him up.
He's in a good book, so we'll big him up.
I don't even know if he'll listen to this.
Does he listen to podcasts? Is it something
he'll
do? Nah.
He listened to me once when I was on the radio. He was in work and he was like, guys, turn the radio on, she's on.
That's my missus.
Aye. I guess when I was on with Gina McKee, that was mental.
Oh,
that was mental as well. Let me just say that, right? Gina McKee is
mental.
lovely, but I remember being a kid, right, and being in the car, my mum having Clyde one on, and it being Gina McKee. Right? And I'm like, why is Gina McKee phoning me?
What's she wanting me for?
Why?
Brilliant. Were you nervous going on that one?
Aye. She had to phone me beforehand to make sure I was all right.
Can you doing? That's cool. Have you got anything else kind of out there that's coming up? Like socially, you've got your book tours. You've got
book tour, the audio book coming out, and then to be honest, I really, really, really need to just shut down for a wee while. Let go of social media for a bit, market and publicise, and let the book fly on its own. And focus on the next one. Aye,
focus on yourself as well. Cut yourself some slack. And
I know, do you know, sometimes it probably doesn't look like I'm doing a lot, but I am knackered.
Aye. I bet you are though as well. You're living with a chronic illness day in day out, and you don't stop thinking about your
That's why I was like to you today, I was like, are we going to film this? Because I do not have the energy to put makeup on the day.
Aye, exactly. But it's good that you recognise that, because if you don't, you're just kind of fighting against yourself.
You have to just learn what you can and can't do.
Don't you? You need to know your limits.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm in this kind of flexible lifestyle now, though, that is allowing me to do it. So. And
like we said, COVID's been good to you.
I know, I think I'm like the only person that's like, yeah, COVID.
But you're right though, it's although it's totally understandable, it's not been good for people, I've heard families like say that maybe had a baby during it. It's been great. I've had all this time to spend with my kid that I wouldn't have. I was going to say that, you know, it's obviously not a great thing, right? But it must have brought so much people together, like families that were forced to spend time together that they never used to do. Or I think it must have benefited some other people as well. I can't be the only weirdo that enjoyed COVID. Not the COVID, but the lockdown. I kind of like my own company though, so like I think it's maybe made me. I'm not the most sociable, so it's kind of made me even less sociable.
You know, it's funny you said that, because I get quite nervous anyway, right? But I have noticed myself now, like, I kind of go into a shop. Like, see if I need, like, bread. Oh my God, I need to leave the house.
What am I got to do?
I need to go to the shop. And sometimes I actually can't do it. And people are like, what?
It's not.
How can you, like my granddad said to me the other day, he was like, how can you go get a new tattoo, but you can't go into the shop for milk? And I was like, George, if I knew...
It wouldn't be a problem.
I would tell you.
But I actually like, the good thing I like to do with the COVID thing is like just get Just Eat delivered to my house, and I put a wee note on saying please leave it door isolating.
Yeah.
I've never isolated once, I've not had to isolate once, but all my deliveries must think I'm constantly isolating because I don't want to make human contact. I'm just like, leave at door.
Just Eat, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, all of that, other applicable. They must have made a fortune during this.
Eat any McDonald's, any fast food place you go to, it's mental.
It's mobbed.
Don't even
people have just now accepted, we can do this on our phone, so even when we're allowed to go, let's just do it on our phone.
Well, you're right, because that's what I do. Instead of sitting in a drive-thru, I'm like, I'd rather just pay £2 to Just Eat.
I know, you sit there and you're like that, really, am I going to miss an extra £2 for someone to bring it to me?
Yes,
get that. Yes, I am.
To my door. And if anybody to look at my bank statement, they'd be like, yep, Just Eat.
Do you know, mine's is terrible, because I'm not meant to eat anything like that at all, right? And basically all my food's meant to be liquidised, right? And no coffee, no nothing. Had a coffee this morning. And sometimes, like, I'll get something delivered and I'll have like 3 bites out it, and that's all. It'll be a total waste, but I need it.
You needed it.
Just to feel normal again. I'll suffer for it later, but sometimes I just need it.
It's comfort, isn't it, though? Did you have stomach problems growing up? No.
Only when I got to about 22.
So you've probably, you've been
and
a teenager.
Even then I didn't listen, I just continued with the kebabs after the dancing, the pakora, everything crap, junk.
But who doesn't?
That's just the way I was living back then. I lived myself a lot when I was younger as well, and I didn't want to cook like big 3-course dinners for myself. And
sometimes if you're cooking for yourself, you're better off just buying something, because
I know.
The time you buy all your ingredients, listen to me, I'm bigging up the fast food.
So. And I'm a lazy cow, it works well.
Same. Same, that sounds about right. So, what else? What are we up to? You up to this weekend? We've been out here and spending a wee couple of hours here. Will that wipe you out? Or are you...
Yes, chattered already.
So you will need to go and kind of
probably chill. I'll just go home now and get my jammies on and just chill and watch telly or read a book or write or something like that. So usually when I have something social to do, I'll do it for a couple of hours, I'll get myself together and then I'll go home. And I know...
Just chill out.
Yeah. And it's also been interesting just watching who adapts well to that and who doesn't.
Aye, I bet it is, because you'll know your limits, but other people will probably not actually appreciate your limits.
I feel really guilty as well, like for cancelling anything, but I know that sometimes this happens now. There's nothing I can do about it, but it's still a...
No, I think I can totally understand where you're coming from. I did say to you off camera that my daughter's she's got an autoimmune disease, and and no days are the same. Yeah. Every day is different.
You don't know. Plan.
Aye, you don't know. And she went through a wee phase, and it was the summer, our pals were going out, and she just couldn't even muster up the energy to leave. Aye. And it's like...
No, I know.
And other people don't get that.
No.
And you'll be the same. It's a totally different illness, but...
People will text me, right, and I'll not wake up till about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but they don't know that's because I've been awake till like 4 in the morning. So,
and then they'll just say you're lazy.
And I'm like, what are you doing the day? Just spending the day in your beds? And I'm like, I've actually been up till 4 in the morning being sick, so I'm needing my sleep.
Aye, I'm shattered.
Yeah.
It must be, that's so difficult for you as well. At least being an author,
stop saying it.
if you're up through the night, you can just put your pen to paper.
That's actually when I write best. I've noticed that is at night now.
Aye.
Late into the night.
And then you're sleeping.
And then I'm sleeping.
All day.
Yeah.
And you're ordering Just Eats.
I've turned into this like weird night owl.
But I suppose that's good though, because you can recognise when you're feeling well enough to do that.
That was the thing as well. Do you know that way when the book came out and it done so well, I immediately felt this pressure to get another one out, because what if people forget who I am and they don't pick up my next book? And then I thought, but I don't want this to just be a wee one-off thing. Like, I want this to be a lifelong career. Like, I've always wanted to write books. Being an author was the dream. If I could write books for the rest of my life, I don't care if it takes 3 years each time to do it, if they're going to be successful books. I don't ever just want to write something mediocre just so I'm out there in the public eye. I don't care about that.
You've just said that you felt under pressure because you wanted people to buy, forget about your book, but people didn't know who you were before you wrote your book. So why you're just like...
See what I mean? This is what I do. This is what I do.
So they 2,000 people didn't know who Paula Johnston was. So you're just procrastinating yourself.
So now I've got 1,000 people waiting for my next book already, which is great. But and then I'm not putting pressure. It'll come out when it comes out, and if some people have dropped off by then, they've dropped off, but you never know what happens.
But if they people have dropped off, think about all the other people that are going to then be looking for a new book.
I'm just hoping that people have picked up this book and went, that was a dynamite book, and it stays with them for a while, that when they see another one, they're like, that's that book that wrote that book.
And that does, like, I read a lot of books, so, and like I said to you, I've gave mine, so I've borrowed mine too, which I probably should have said, no, you buy that book. But I borrowed, but that's the thing, if I shared with my pals and they shared with their pals.
That is the thing, see the power of social media. Crazy.
Aye.
Crazy. Because it's one person sharing a picture, another person sharing a picture, another person saying this book was good. A simple share can get you another person picking up your book. It's mental.
That's something I'm not good at. I'm not very good on social media. I said that to you, it's my daughter that does all that. But I'm trying to be more conscious of like my friends that have got stuff and sharing stuff, because the more you share, somebody's going to see it.
I always think that it literally costs you nothing to share somebody's success, does it? Listen, what harm is it doing? And I always believe there's room for everybody. Like
there is.
There's so many great Scottish authors now. Like, for example, I came in here, right, and I was like, right, Graham Armstrong's book, my book's going in here, right? Like, there's so many great talents out there now, but it doesn't need to be a competition. And I'll never compete like that. I will write how I want to write.
And then they can write the same as what you're writing, because it's coming from your mind.
Somebody said that to me before, and I was like, no, that's actually true. Aye.
Because it's on your head, so nobody's got to know what's in your head.
If anything, I think it's great. All the Scottish authors that are coming out now, like, this is a massive thing for books. And you can never have enough books.
And it's a good, like you said, you picked up that book, it's a great support for you to go, Graham, I've just seen your book.
I love speaking to them all, because, see, essentially, they're all going through the exact same thing I am, whether they're with a massive publisher or not. Because I know I was speaking to people as well that didn't have a publisher and then got signed.
And they've went through that journey.
Went through the journey. Do you know what I mean? I don't ever want people to feel like she'll not reply to you because she's an author now and she thinks I'll reply to everybody.
Because when you think about it as well, being an author is your full-time career, you're not going to have a colleague.
It's not a side hustle now, it's like my thing.
and you've not got any colleagues to offload to, you've not got anybody to support you, so if you're going to be welcoming to other authors, they're going to be the same to you.
I've just noticed it was a different kind of vibe. Being in that sort of public eye sort of thing. You do notice people that support you and share what you're doing, and then you can't help but the ones monsters that don't as well, and you just watch out for that. But I love speaking to people that are writing books because I just think it's amazing that they're following their dream the way I did.
Absolutely. And that would be your word of advice to up-and-coming authors: follow your dream.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the first draft of anything is always crap.
We can finish up with that. Give some advice to anybody who's thinking about writing a book.
Right, okay.
Go for it.
There's this thing, right? I actually learned this. There's two types of writers. There's pantsers and there's plotters.
Right.
I'm a pantser.
Pantser.
Right? Pantser is basically, I sat down and was like, right, let's just go for it.
Right.
No structure, nothing. A plotter is chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, these all need to flow, chapter 4, blah. I can't do it. I tried. I got a whiteboard, I set it all out, chapters 1, 2, 3, and I sat and stared at the whiteboard for about 8 hours and went, nah. That's not me. I'll just write another draft of something and then I'll go through it the same way I did, beef it up, because the kind of structured way clearly isn't for me.
If you explained to me what they two were, I would definitely say you're a panters anyway.
Yeah, I'm basically like that in life.
I get that impression. First meeting, I get that impression. So just go for it. Anybody that's thinking about it.
Do you know, it doesn't even need to be a book, anything. Right? If it's shown me, like, this is really cringe, but see the fact that when I was younger I wanted to do this, and I always joked about it. I always was like, I'll write a book one day. When I'm a big famous author, you'll be.
I'll show you.
Right? But I did write a book, and I did bring it out, and people are reading, and I remember being like, when do you call yourself an author? Like, when do you call yourself an author?
That first book sale, do I call myself an author?
And I googled it, and it was basically like, Google said, well, if people are reading something you wrote, you're an author. And I was like, 2,000 people are reading it, so I'd say
you're definitely an author.
I'm going to take it. I'm going to run with it.
Brilliant. Good. Well, thanks. I think we've gabbered on enough today.
I know, by the way.
That's been a good sesh.
Listen, I know, but do you know, I knew we would chat like this.
Could probably have more. We could probably go on more, and we probably could actually. We'd like that. We could have a sequel.
Yes, absolutely, do a sequel.
Aye, definitely. Thank you, Paula. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me. It's been so much fun. This has been my first one when I've been invited into a studio.
Oh, am I posh?
Yeah.
Does that make me posh?
Yeah, because I've been on a couple other ones before, and then now some have actually got studios, and I'm like, right, why am I not in that studio?
Well, welcome to the studio.
Welcome to the G4 studios.
We better maybe say that. Welcome to the G4 Podcast
I know,
studio.
I plugged them.
Aye, get that plugged. Nicole will love that. Well, thank you, and I'm going to join you tonight. I'm going to get home and put my jammies on.
Right, as soon as you got up the road. Best thing for it.
Sounds great.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.